reception and welcome to Tuesday's Understanding of the World and RE lesson. We have such an exciting week because this week we are interviewing people in our local community whose job it is to help us. What does the word job mean? Can you tell me what you think it is? Well, a job is a skill that people have in order to make money. So my job is a teacher and my skill is I teach all of you little lovelies. And I get paid for it, so I consider myself very lucky because I love my job. Yesterday we were interviewing some teachers and we spoke to the 4 bosses. Do you remember? Mrs. Stone, Mr. Newport, Mrs. Weaver and Mrs. Blanchet. And today we're going to be learning about a new job and interviewing some people who do that job. So, who could I be interviewing today? Well, if you haven't guessed from my background, let's look at some clues to see who we're learning about today. So, clue 1, turn it down a bit because I know it's quite loud. Oh, that's a big clue. Oh, who could it be? Okay, right, let's have a look at clue 2. Oh, so cute, but why is he here? And clue 3, whose hat is that? That's right, we're going to be interviewing some police officers today. So, who are police officers? Well, a police officer can be a man or a woman. No children. I'm afraid you're going to have to wait until you're older. But there are also some animals that are in the police force, like dogs and horses. Now, they're there for lots of different reasons. An example is that a dog has a very, very good sense of smell, much better than humans, and it can help the police officers to sniff and find some clues when they're solving a crime, which is really amazing. What do police officers do? Well, where do I begin? They do so much, but I have put 3 pictures to help you. So I would like you to talk now to somebody and see if you can guess what they do based on these pictures. Off you go. Okay, make sure you pause the video if you haven't done that already, and let's go through some answers. Well, these people look very confused here, don't they? And police officers help the public. So they can help them with big problems or with small problems. These people look like they're lost, so a police officer can come and help them with their directions. What do you think's happening in this picture? Well, police officers catch criminals, and that might be a new word for some of us. Can we say it together? Criminals. Criminals are people who have broken the law. They have done something that is forbidden, that they're not allowed to do. And this last picture, police officers solve crimes. So, let's use our signs. Police officers help. Can we do that together? Help. Police officers stop criminals. Together, stop criminals. And they search for clues. Can we do that together? They search for clues. And when this happens, when they help, when they stop, and when they search, that means that we live in a really happy and safe community. So we are incredibly lucky and grateful to have police officers keeping us safe. Well, what do they wear? Now, they are so busy. They're either in their car or they are patrolling the streets, and so they're going to need to keep warm with a big jacket. And it might be this yellow jacket, fluorescent jacket, and that means that people can identify them really easily, even at night time. They might have a radio on them, and that's so that they can talk to other police officers. They have a hat. It might not look like this hat, but they usually wear a hat, and they need a sturdy pair of boots for all the walking that they do. And this here is the badge to show that they work for Kent Police, which is where we live. We live in Kent. So So they might have that on their hat or somewhere else on their uniform. So we know that's where they work. How do they travel? Well, they travel in style. Let me show you, because they can travel by motorcycle, by car, or, and by far the coolest, by helicopter, which is really cool. Now, sometimes police officers work undercover, which means that they can't let anybody see that they're a police officer. So they might just drive around in a normal car, but look how cool this one is, because all of a sudden it turns its lights on and oh, so it is the police, because normal cars don't have those lights, do they? No. So how do they solve crime? Well, they might put some tape around the area so no one can get past. They might hunt for clues or interview people to find out some more information. Now, when they're searching for clues, there are literally thousands and thousands of clues that they could find, but two of them they might look for are fingerprints. Now, can you just pause the video and look really closely at your finger? Because if you look, you can see lots of tiny, teeny little lines that go almost like it's like a wobbly circle, isn't it? It's like a stretched out circle. And they kind of go in a pattern. And that is your fingerprint. This person has done it here. They've put their finger on a surface and it shows all the little lines. That's their fingerprint, and that's unique to them. So only you have your fingerprint, nobody else does. They might look for a footprint, and this tells them the shoe size of the criminal. Ooh, exciting stuff. So let's actually talk to some real police officers now, and they are answering some of your questions. So I'll let them introduce themselves. We have...
Hello, my name's Anthony, and I'm a Detective Sergeant in Kent Police.
Should we say hello to Anthony? Hello, Anthony. And we have...
Hello, Red and Ruby class. I'm Sergeant Langshaw, and I'm at Canterbury Police Station, and I'm with Kent Police. And I've been asked by Mrs Hopkins and Miss Brisley to answer some of your questions, as I understand you've got a few posing questions about what the police do.
This is Sergeant Langshaw, so shall we say hello? Hello! Okay, right. Your questions. Question number 1. Are you having to do other jobs because of coronavirus?
Are we having to do more because of COVID? Yes, we are. That's a really good question. So as well as all the other police jobs we have to do, we also have the job of ensuring that people are complying with lockdown rules. So that can mean when we're out on patrol, we have to ask people what they're doing and make sure that they're out for essential visits. And also people call us about when people are breaking the rules so that we can go over and hopefully make sure they start complying and keeping everyone safe.
That's important, isn't it? We have to stay home at the moment to keep everybody safe. So, question number 2. This is a great question. Do you catch bad guys?
Yes, absolutely. We have to go out and catch bad guys. Sometimes also bad girls. It's not always just bad guys who are out breaking the law and causing trouble. So that's one of the main parts of the job, is to go out and arrest people and deal with people who are breaking the law. But we also do a lot of other things, such as helping find missing persons, and also maybe helping out, for example, if people are in a traffic accident.
Yeah, so that was a good point. Do you catch bad guys? Well, sometimes it might be a girl, so you have to catch the bad girls too.
Another question posed is, do you catch the bad guys? Yes, we do catch the bad guys. Sometimes we catch them at the time, and there's other times when we do things called an investigation, which means we have a look at everything and we ask people what they've seen and how they can help us, and we collect all of that information, and then we go and catch the bad people. So if you need us to go and catch the bad people, we can go and catch the bad people.
So So that's what we were saying, that sometimes they catch their criminals as they're doing something that's not very good, but sometimes they don't know where they are, so they have to do an investigation. That's where they look for those clues. Okay, question number 3. What else do you do other than catching bad guys? Because surely that's what police officers do all day long.
So when not at work and not being a policeman, what do? Well, I have a son, and me and his mum drag him around castles, and we go to the beach a lot, and he likes walking his dog Rosie, and he likes trains, and he likes Spitfires, and we spend a lot of time going to Headcorn to watch the Spitfires take off and land. Do you know who he is?
Oh, so if you didn't hear the beginning, it was a little bit quiet. Sergeant Langshaw actually has a son in reception. So who in reception absolutely loves Spitfires? Who can I think of that has a dog called Rosie? I know who it is. It's Henry! So this is Henry's dad, and I think Henry's mum and his dad are police officers, so that's very cool. Okay, question 4. Do you catch the robbers? Good question.
Yes, absolutely. We do go out and catch robbers. We deal with 2 very serious crimes. One is called robbery, and that's where someone steals something and they either use or threaten force when they do it. We also deal with a crime called burglary, where people break into people's houses and steal their things. These are really serious crimes and cause a lot of misery to victims. So yes, absolutely, all police are committed to going out and catching robbers. Yes.
Absolutely. And that's what we were saying about things that are against the law. They're forbidden to do. So we are not allowed to take anything that isn't ours. Okay. Question 5. Very cool question. Do you get to drive the police car?
Now this is a fun question. Do you drive the police car? Yes, I drive the police car. We've got a number of different police cars that we use at the moment. At the moment we have Vauxhall Astras, but we've also got BMW X5s, some BMW 5 Series, which is the ones that you might see on the motorways. But we've also got vans such as the larger Sprinter, Mercedes Sprinter vans and Ford Transit vans, which we use for a variety of roles. But yes, we drive the police cars, and on occasions we have to put the blue lights on, and that's so that we can get to help people quicker, and to be able to do it safely. And we go through quite a lot of training to get there, and a number of courses to be able to allow us to do that. And we have to go to police headquarters in Maidstone for a series of courses over a series of weeks, and we have to refresh those courses, so we have to do them again every now and again to allow us to do that. So if you see us driving along with the blue lights on, it's just so that we can get somewhere quicker to help someone who might need us at that time.
Oh, that's a good point. Have any of you seen the police cars when they've got their flashing lights on and the sirens? Yeah, I have, and that means that they need to go somewhere really, really quickly. So there it is. Right, question 6. Now this is a really good question. How long does it take to answer an emergency call, a 999 call?
Well, it can really vary depending on what the call is. If you are in desperate need of police assistance, it might be because someone desperately needs help or there's a crime happening right now, then it's absolutely right to call 999. In that case, we will try and get there as quickly as possible. Sometimes if we have officers nearby in the area, we might be able to get there in just a matter of minutes. Sometimes it takes a bit longer. If things aren't quite as urgent, people can call a different number, which is 101, and then we can then usually ring you up and make an appointment to come and see you. But in an emergency, absolutely dial 999 and the police will be there as quickly as we can.
It's very good advice.
The next question is, how long does it take to get to an emergency call? It depends where we are. So on we've got a big map up at our headquarters in Maidstone, where the control room work, and they're in this box here. They talk to me on this radio, and they have a big map which shows where everyone is currently driving. So they will send whichever car is the closest car to that call at that time. And so it does depend on how far away we are at the time, or how far we've got to travel. Now, here at Canterbury, we cover all of Canterbury City, all the way out to the coasts of Whitstable and Herne Bay, and Folkestone and Dover will obviously cover the south coast all the way up to Ashford. So it really does depend on how far we are away from that call at the time when we're dispatched to it. But we've got the blue lights on the roof, and they tend to help us on our way.
Yeah, so it depends where they are. But when they put the blue lights on, that means that when you see with the blue lights on, people usually get out of their way quite quickly so they can get to their destination a lot quicker. I love this question. What do the police dogs do? That's a really good question.
Now, yes, police dogs are fantastic. They're a great asset to the police. They have a number of different roles. Mostly what dogs are used for is their sense of smell. They see things through their noses. So when they sniff around, the scent they pick up, that's how they see the world, very differently to how we see it, which is really, really helpful. So sometimes if someone has broken the law and they've run away, the dog can follow the scent they leave. So we don't know where they are, but the dog can work out which way they've gone. Sometimes if the people are really aggressive, the dog can chase after them, and they can kind of like arrest the person themselves, and they grab hold of them until a police officer can arrive and formally arrest them. We also use them sometimes again for their smell. They can smell things like guns, bombs, drugs, and occasionally we use those big dogs because they can be quite scary, the big dogs. We use those at things like football matches when people are getting a bit silly. Sometimes we make sure we stand there with the dogs, and lots of people are scared of the dogs. They don't tend to mess with the dogs.
Do you think Mochi Moo would be a good police dog? I wonder. Right, okay, that was a really lovely interview. It was so nice to get so much information from two real police officers. I think that's really cool. So, we have one last message, and then I have a bit of a task for you.
Well, Red and Ruby class, I hope that's helped, and I hope it's been of some use to you, and I hope I've answered all your questions. But if there's anything else that you think of, you can stop and speak to a police officer that's walking along, or any of my policing colleagues, and ask them a question. They'll be more than happy to talk to you. They'll be more than happy to help. And if you see us driving past in one of our police cars, give us a wave, because we will wave back. Okay? I hope that's helped, and I hope you have a good day.
Oh, that was brilliant. So yeah, if you see a police officer, make sure you wave, and if you have a question, make sure you ask them the question. They'll be more than happy to help. So can we just say really, really big thank you to Anthony, our detective sergeant. Say thank you. And to Sergeant Langshaw as well. Let's say a really big thank you. That was amazing. Now, I have one last task for you today. I want you to become a detective and help me, because you will never guess what happened. I came home from school today and I was really hungry. And I was thinking, oh, I know what I want. I want some cookies. And so into the kitchen I went. And when I went to find my cookies, guess what? Somebody had eaten them. Couldn't believe it. So what I did is I hunted for some clues, and all I could find was this footprint, and this had fallen off of their clothing. Can you help me find the criminal who ate all of my cookies? Now, to do this, I want you to have a look at these clues and then interview some of your teddy bears at home. And you might want to ask them, did you see anything suspicious? You might want to say, do you know anyone that likes cookies? And then the third question you might want to ask them is, do you recognise this footprint? Good luck, Red and Ruby class, finding the person or the thing that ate all of my cookies. And I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you think you know who the criminal is who ate them all, make sure you write me a message on Discord. Okay, I will see you tomorrow, everyone. Have a lovely day.